My dad cut me off, so I built a life he couldn't ignore. My dad always told me that a man is only worth what he can provide, and for most of my life, I believed him. I believed every harsh word, every backhanded compliment, every little reminder that I wasn't enough. I believed him so deeply that when he finally cut me off, it felt like the entire world shifted under my feet. But this isn't a story about losing a father. It's about the day I realized I never really had one, and the day I decided to build a life so solid, so undeniable, that even he couldn't pretend not to see it. Growing up, my dad was the kind of man who wore his disappointment like a jacket, comfortable in it, living in it, never taking it off. He didn't yell, he didn't throw things, he didn't slam doors, he just looked at you like you were wasting his oxygen. That hit harder than any punch ever could. He had this rule: in my house, you earn your place, which basically meant affection was conditional, approval was transactional, and love was something you negotiated for, not something freely given. When I was little, I tried everything to win him over. Sports? I played basketball, football, ran track, even tried wrestling. He came to 2 games. 2. At one of them, I scored the game-winning shot. You know what he said afterward? Should have scored earlier so it didn't come down to luck. That was my dad. Never impressed, never satisfied. School wasn't any easier. I wasn't dumb, but I wasn't a 4.0 robot either. I'd bring home a B+ and he'd tap the paper with his finger, like it offended him. Other kids can get A's. What's wrong with you? Nothing. Nothing was wrong with me, but he convinced me something was. My mom wasn't much help. She loved me, I know she did, but she was the peacekeeper, the quiet type who would rather say nothing than start a fight she knew she'd lose. She always told me, "Your father just wants the best for you," even when his version of best felt like a boot pressing into my chest. Things got worse when I turned 18. That's when my dad decided he was done pretending I was his son. He wanted a clone of himself, confident, commanding, rigid, overbearing, someone who worshipped money and saw emotion as a weakness. I wasn't that. I was quieter, observant, creative. I wasn't trying to lead anybody. I wasn't trying to control anyone. I just wanted a normal life. But normal wasn't enough for him. The breaking point came the week after I graduated high school. I was sitting at the kitchen table looking through community college brochures. I knew I couldn't afford a big university, and I also knew my dad wasn't paying for anything unless it was engineering, finance, or something he considered real. He walked in, glanced at the papers, and said, "Community college? So you're aiming low already." I kept my voice steady. "I'm aiming for what I can afford." "You can afford more if you stop thinking small," he shot back. "I'm not thinking small. I'm thinking realistic." He laughed, this cold, dismissive sound that hit me like a slap. "You? Realistic? Please. You're barely capable of thinking at all. I've carried you for 18 years and I'm done. You want to be an adult?" He leaned in close. "Then be one. Starting now." I didn't understand what he meant until that night, when I came home from my part-time shift at the grocery store and saw my belongings stacked in boxes by the front door. A note sat on top. "If you want a place in this world, earn it. Time to grow up." No signature, no goodbye, just a shove into the deep end and a hope I'd drown. My mom cried, but she didn't stop him. She whispered apologies as she handed me an envelope with $40 in it. "It's all I could pull out without him noticing," she said. She hugged me like she was sending me off to war, and maybe she was. I couch-hopped for months, slept in my car for a stretch, ate dollar menu dinners and worked 2 part-time jobs just to survive. I wasn't living, I was treading water, and every night I'd hear my dad's voice in my head. "You'll never make it. You're too soft. You're not built for the real world. You'll come crawling back. And maybe the worst one, you're nothing without me." There were nights I almost believed him, but survival has a way of waking something inside you, something sharp, something angry, something determined. The turning point happened on a random Tuesday. I was sweeping floors at a warehouse job when one of the managers, a guy named Carl, noticed how fast I worked. "You ever think about applying for something higher?" he asked. I shrugged. No degree. My dad says," he cut me off. "I didn't ask about your dad. I asked about you." Nobody had ever asked about me before. Not what I could do, not what I wanted. Just me. So I applied for an entry-level role in logistics. Got denied. Applied again a month later. Denied. Third time. Interview. Fourth time. I got the job. That one, yes, changed everything. Logistics wasn't glamorous, but I was good at it. Like, really good. Numbers, timing, inventory flow. My brain clicked with it. For the first time, I didn't feel stupid. I didn't feel slow. I felt capable. I felt like me. And when you get one win, you start chasing more. I took overtime shifts. I asked questions. I shadowed managers. I stayed late to learn software tools. Within 2 years, I got promoted. Not once, twice. My salary doubled. I moved out of my crappy studio and into a clean one-bedroom. Got reliable transportation, built credit, saved money. By the time I hit 23, I was making more than my dad ever thought I would, more than he believed possible. I wasn't rich, but I wasn't surviving anymore. I was building. Next came certifications, courses, networking. I found mentors, men who showed me what leadership actually looked like, not dominance, not fear, not control, but guidance, patience, accountability, strength without cruelty. Everything my father wasn't. I worked my way into supply chain management, then into operations strategy. At 26, I landed a role that paid more in a year than my dad had made at his peak. I bought a condo, paid off my car, flew my mom out secretly for a week just so she could see the life I built. She cried the first night. "I always knew you'd be okay," she whispered. I didn't believe her, but I appreciated the lie. And then, like clockwork, word got back to my dad. He found out through my cousin at some barbecue. Apparently, the moment he heard my salary, he got quiet. Real quiet. Then he said, "He's exaggerating. There's no way." But curiosity eats at men like him. So one day, out of nowhere, he called me. I stared at the caller ID for a full minute before answering. "Hello?" His voice was calm. Too calm. "I hear you're doing well." I didn't respond. He cleared his throat. "Your mother misses you." "Does she?" I asked. "Yes," he said quickly, almost defensively. "And I think it's time we talk." There it was, the real reason. Not concern, not love, curiosity, ego, maybe even jealousy. I wasn't the failure he predicted. I was the proof he was wrong. I agreed to meet him, not because I wanted reconciliation, but because I wanted to look him in the eye and see if anything had changed. Spoiler, it hadn't. We met at a diner. He wore that same expression he always had, like the world owed him something. He didn't congratulate me, didn't apologize, didn't acknowledge throwing me out like trash. Instead, he said, "You should have told me you were doing well." I blinked. Why would I? "Because," he said, leaning back, "I'm still your father." I almost laughed. "You're the one who cut me off." "To help you grow," he insisted. "No," I said. "You cut me off because you were tired of me disappointing you." He didn't deny it, just sipped his coffee and shrugged. "Well, you turned out all right, so maybe you should thank me." Thank him? For abandoning me? For humiliating me? For making my life harder than it needed to be? Something inside me snapped. "You didn't make me," I said quietly. "You didn't mold me. You didn't guide me. You broke me, and I rebuilt myself without you." He stayed silent. I wasn't done. "You want credit for the man I became? You don't get it. You don't get anything. Not my success, not my time, not my gratitude." His jaw tightened. "You're still my son." "No," I said. "I'm a man you used to control. That's it." He didn't have a response for that. For once, he had nothing to say. No insults, no dismissive remarks, just silence. I stood up to leave. He finally spoke. "So that's it? You're walking away?" I looked at him for the last time with the eyes of an adult, not a scared kid. "You walked away years ago. I just finally stopped chasing you." And I left. He tried calling a few times after that. I didn't answer. Not out of anger, but clarity. You can't build a house on a foundation that was meant to collapse. You can't rebuild a bridge someone burned on purpose. I didn't need him anymore. And honestly, I never did. I only needed to believe in myself the way I once begged him to believe in me. Now I'm 30. I run operations for a company with hundreds of employees. I mentor young men who come from the same kind of broken homes I did. I teach them the lesson it took me years to learn. Family isn't defined by blood. It's defined by who shows up. My dad didn't show up, but I did. For myself. And that was enough to build a life he can't ignore, even if I never let him be part of it.